Hey, and welcome to this episode of Surviving the Global Pandemic. Today, I want to talk to you about having the right kind of mental paradigm for what we need to get through this. A situation like this is not like a hurricane or a tornado or some sort of like weather natural disaster that just happens. It's really intense for a day or two or three or maybe even a week, and then we just spend a long time cleaning it up or recovering. Um, in a situation like this, it's a long time that's difficult. And so it's for me, it's better to think about that like an expedition. So I used to be a mountain guide, and we would go on these really long expeditions of 3 to 15 people up in the mountains for 40 days. The longest one I've ever been on is 6 weeks, and so you're with the same people for a long time, and you have to make decisions because things are happening. It's inherently, there's some danger in it. And so an expedition, you're going to prep before you go with your food and what are your supplies, and how are you going to manage that. Are you going to have re-rations, things like that? So you have this logistical phase where you start and you're thinking about all the technical things. And then you kind of get into it, and all of those details are mostly settled as much as possible. And then you kind of run out of things to do. You kind of run out of things to tweak and manage and control, and you're kind of just with people. And that's when it starts to get real. It's not really like the danger being in the mountains or the adventure of that. The hard part about expeditions are the group dynamics and relationships with one another. So it starts to get real in there, and you need ways of being with one another, of having alone time. You actually have to be a human being with each other and really learn how to do that. The other thing I know about expeditions is that there's a whole cycle and process to that time with one another, and the longer you're there, isolated and in it together, the more that little things start to build up, but then also there's a greater chance for deeper change. And that's why I chose to do it as a job and a lifestyle for so long, was because if we could learn how to be humans with one another and be vulnerable and be real, and then we could learn how to be changed and shaped and refined by one another, and then we could become the thing that we could only be together on the other side. The change was beautiful, and that's what I absolutely loved about it. So it was a reason to give my life to that, and it's what I know is possible for us as we find our way through this together.